You're making
like $1 million, the next mark in the spot where it lays, and I'm a pillager all over the place, and you gotta win. It goes ahead and just blows you away, and if you don't understand the change, this is committed to excellence, the pride and the poison, a pirate's way. Ladies and gentlemen, the Raider way. And if you don't understand which side that I'm on your best place to...
Wow, dude. Wow.
Sharp.
We're back. We're back with a new pod. New brand. I'm not even running point anymore. Like, I'm Dustin.
What's good?
Welcome to your podcast.
Right? Long time coming, you know. It's taken quite a while to get here. But glad to be here. Glad to have you here. How's everything going?
Man, glad to be here. Let's just, everybody who doesn't know Dustin, this is Dustin. Dustin, you're simulcasting this on your channel as well, right?
I do believe so, yeah.
Upper right-hand corner. Yeah. Salute Raider Nation. We got White Clay Thompson back. Shout out.
Can't say Austin Hooper anymore. No more Austin Hooper.
No more hoopsters. No more hoop. It's cool, man. We got a lot going on. There's obviously you got Raider, you got your page, Raider Way, going on. I got my page. We then also have Black Shield Media, and then there's Black Team Broadcast, the Black Team Broadcast Group.
To say we are staying busy out here. We've got our hands in a lot of different things.
Yeah, man, hands are busy. I'm good though, man. I actually just started a new job. So I actually left finance, left the financial industry, got out of finance, kind of went back to a passion of mine, which is fitness. And so, going back into the fitness game, it's been good. The money's good. The money's good. The hours are cool. People are cool, and the headache is gone.
Well, that's all you can ask for, right? Good money, good people, good hours. Sounds like you're doing just fine.
Better ingredients, better pizza,
Oh, the mustache comments already. Shave the beard off for just the Super Trooper stash. The thing is, I don't think I could pull it off as clean as O'Connell does. I don't think I could go the Farva stash and live to see the next morning.
What about the Minshew stash?
If it was a little thicker on the sides, I could go there. But once I get rid of this midsection here, it's all over. It's like 6 hairs on either side.
So you're saying you want your mustache like I like my women, thicker on the sides?
Ooh.
It's at the _Kenny King Jr. on Instagram. Make sure you follow me.
Oh man! So who all we got in chat here? Who we got rolling in the comments?
We got El Capitan Refucho. We got M Raider. We got the homie Egalitarian. We got Raiders Resistance. Shout out to my boy Lou. Can't forget Ivan Drago. And of course, can't forget Raiders Resistance, part of the Vegas Sports Today network. You're part of that crew too, right? The Vegas Sports Today.
Yeah. Occasionally I'll drop something out there and they'll pop it up for me. But just kind of whenever I see something that they like and they like what I got, and they'll put it up. So
yeah. As Santiago, mental health in the workplace is essential. I'm telling you this. A lot of you guys know I was on disability for the past year because of mental health. I needed a break. I was just stressed out from work. I couldn't do it anymore. And that's what ultimately made me change my decision to leave finance, because I had applied for some jobs. I actually interviewed with a bank yesterday, and the money was good, but I was like, nah, like I would rather be here. And it's funny because some of the people are like, man, we got to deal with this. I'm like, dude, that's nothing, So I'm feeling good. One Nation Famware. Shout out Justin and Johnny. My guy has been putting out some fire content, putting out some fire stuff for the past, I don't know, decade or more. But yeah, he says, I understand the corporate headache. Left the NYC office as a designer. Yep, burned him out. He was working for the NFL. So that's why Justin and Johnny, One Nation Famware, his designs are so good.
Well, let's face it, working for the NFL in any capacity would burn you out right quick.
Yeah. My emails would get me fired.
Do we need to go back there again? Do we need another firing from the Raider Nation for emails?
You know what? I think we're good right now where we're at with Raider Nation. I think the Raiders are in good hands.
Excellent.
From the top to the bottom. I mean, Sandra Douglas Morgan is nails. I've had the opportunity to meet her. She's nothing but class. She gets it. She has a sports background. She's intelligent. She's beautiful. So she's got everything. Mark has been doing a hell of a job, running this team. We heard on Hondo's podcast, Amy Trask was talking about how, she basically talked Al out of running the team so Mark could run it. And, Mark's doing a good job. Like everybody's mad about the move, but I think people are getting over that now. But Mark's doing a good job. I mean, look, he tripled the team's worth.
And that in itself is something that needs to be commended because, that was not going to happen in Oakland. Let's face it.
No.
Amy said on Hondo's podcast, every year she was scraping for credit. Like the team wasn't even running on actual cash flow. It was running on credit. So days in Oakland were kind of numbered, and that's without all the drama with the A's and all that stuff. So won't even go into all that because they're coming to SAC next year, so there's no more Oakland sports.
Man, isn't that what there's the Oakland Roots still?
I was going to say there's Oakland Roots.
We got the Oakland Roots and we got the Oakland Ballers and the Oakland Soul. Yeah, so but I mean, and what I like about the Roots and the Soul and the Ballers is it's organic. It's from Oakland. It's born, raised, truly rooted in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
I think you look at the Raiders, obviously born in Oakland, will always be in my opinion, the Oakland Raiders, even though I have an LA hat on. But those
always gonna let's see, where is it? Always gonna rep that. Always gonna rep Oakland.
Always. But we didn't come here to talk about Oakland. We didn't come here to talk about we did come to talk about how the team is run. And one of the big reasons why this team had a turnaround defensively, especially, is the head coach who was an interim last year, Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, no, I think Pierce was definitely the right hire here. From the end of the season until the official announcement, we were pushing the hashtag AP2LV. That took off. That took off like I did not expect it to, and I think Mark even came out and said that the fan response had a lot to do with the hiring. Because if you look at it, he kind of bent and gave Gruden the contract for the fan appeasement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he really did want to bring Gruden back, but it just something wasn't right. The power dynamic wasn't right, and I don't know that Mark had at that point. I don't know that Mark had the what do you want to say? Not the backbone, but the stronger personality to go up against a Gruden type coach. But now he's got Tom Telesco, he's got AP, guys that he feels like he can actually trust to just hand the team over to, and they're going to do the right thing for what's right in Vegas.
Yeah, Tom's a smart guy. He's been around the league for a while. We look at the track record that he has with Andrew Luck, with Justin Herbert, Peyton Manning. Like he's been there for some top quarterbacks. What are you excited about? And I don't mean to hijack your pod, but what are you excited about with bringing in a guy like Tom Telesco, who has a ton of experience? Because our past GMs have not had a ton of experience.
Well, I think what you're getting with Telesco is you see the Chargers, and perennially on paper, they're always billing them to be, playoff contenders. Number one, yeah, exactly. So, but the thing was, the coaching was just, I don't think, was ever there. They didn't seem to have the coaching to back up that roster that they had built on paper. And every year, the paper doesn't win the championships; the players on the field do. Right. So now that you've got a guy like Telesco building a roster, and I'm assuming he's going to build it a lot of the same ways that he did in San Diego and LA. But you've got that motivator coach, right? You've got that player coach that's going to get in there. He's going to push these guys, and they're going to want to play for him. One of the biggest things that a lot of people were knocking Telesco for was the salary cap situation, which actually, wasn't even in control of that. It was actually Spanos' grandson that was in charge of that. Yeah, Telesco had final say, had final sign off, but for an ownership group like the Spanoses, who have their hand on every single button in the building, you have to sign off. There's no, yeah, this is your job. Okay, you take care of it. No, they basically put it in front of him and said, here, sign this. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any issue with what he's done as far as salary cap, because have we really seen something that Tom Telesco's put together on his own?
Yeah, I agree with you there. We look at the teams that he's put together. He's put together some pretty solid defenses. He's done a great job of drafting. Look at all the quote unquote stars that they've drafted over there. You got Joey Bosa, who at one point was one of the best defensive linemen in the league. They drafted Denzel Perryman. They drafted Justin Herbert. They drafted Derwin James, Nasir Adderley, Keenan Allen. Like, there's been a lot of talent that has come out of that. But I think you're right. It has been coaching. You bring in a guy like Brandon Staley, who's just like, dude doesn't get it.
What was going on there? Let's call a timeout when we could tie and go to the playoffs.
Yeah, blowing a 28-point lead. It's like, come on, man. Like how do you do this? How? And so
it still boggles my mind. I don't understand it.
And then you look at the Raiders coaching staff with AP and what he's done. He's brought in former head coaches. He's brought in former high-ranking assistants. He's brought in former players. So there's this feeling in the Raiders organization, in the Raiders locker room, that, look, we're around guys that get it. John Gruden was a great football mind, but he wasn't a player at that level.
He wasn't one of the guys.
Yeah, yes, he won a Super Bowl. Yes, he did. Josh McDaniels, yes, he did win a Super Bowl. But they can't relate on the same level that an Antonio Pierce can. Antonio Pierce can relate with a Max Crosby. He can relate with an Aiden O'Connell. He can relate with all these different guys because he's been there and he's been through the grind. It's different when you're a coach. It's different when you're a teacher than when you're the player or you're the student, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and with all that being said, I think they're in a really good spot. I feel the best about them that I've felt in quite some time. It's just there's a certain energy that you can, even though we're all not there in person, you can feel it through the social media. You can feel it through the speeches. There's just, Max is as dialed as I've ever seen him, and that's saying something, because the dude's always been turned up to 11. So I'm kind of afraid to watch him turn it up even past that. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's get the crazy eyes going, and let's get after these quarterbacks.
Max, I'm gonna tell you right now, Max has a chip on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Max should have won. Max should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. We all know it. Max should have won Rookie of the Year when he was a rookie. Max, is finally starting to get the respect that he deserves around from the media. You're seeing Max getting a lot of that respect now because, when Max came into the league, Baldy was the first one that was all over it. Mm-hmm. And now everybody is starting to see what Baldy saw, what we saw, because Max he's just different. You can't describe his effort. It's more than maximum effort. Before we get into that, we got a question here from M Raider, and I just really want to touch on it. What's y'all's thoughts on the new kickoff rules? It's going to change a lot of things around the league. Been studying a lot lately. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a trip, because you're you're actually going to see the return of the return man, right? The guys that are on the roster specifically to return the football on kickoffs, and it's going to be really exciting because we've got some fast dudes on the team right now.
Yeah, and what it's crazy that I'm hearing a bunch of teams aren't going to be using their kickers for kickoffs anymore because of the way it's set up.
So it's like, okay, so you have a guy on the roster just for field goals, right? So you've got Carlson who can bang them out from 50 plus, and so who takes the kickoff? AJ Cole? Does he just kind of pooch kick it into the 20?
Well, what's so I was looking at it. I know the Chiefs they're not using Butker. They're gonna use one of their safeties.
Weird.
Which makes, if you can kick a football and you can tackle, not everybody's Pat McAfee,
Yeah, that's true.
not everybody's, ultimately if Hunter Renfrow was still on the team, he could be that guy because he knows how to kick.
And he knocked the block off of that Chargers player 2 years ago.
Right? So, Hunter's a triple threat. And the fact that it's crazy he hasn't been signed yet.
I still think he ends up with the Saints just because of the familiarity with he who shall not be named. But I do think it's interesting that they haven't gotten him in there yet. I still think that's what's going to end up happening. I'd love to see him back, but I don't know if we've got the room for him on the roster right now. They've really ramped in the wide receiver room.
I don't know where he fits. Third string quarterback, emergency quarterback. Could he be the guy that we
third string safety?
Yeah, like
he can catch the ball. The dude could be a ball hawk. We never know. And we saw Jack Jones taking wide receiver reps today.
Yeah, what about that?
I saw it and I was looking at it and I'm going, okay, is this like a safety drill, right? Like you're not like a safety drill, a corner drill, just working on the hands, moving in space. I'm going, okay, is he just working on that aspect?
I think he's working on.
I think he's got some.
I think he's working on trick plays.
Yeah,
we know AP likes trick plays.
Yeah, he does.
AP loves his trick plays, and you know what? They work.
It works because, and like you said, if he's taking wide receiver reps, I can think of another corner that we used to have that used to play wide receiver.
Another corner?
Yeah.
Who's
corner
that?
/ safety.
Nate? Oh, Woodson. I'm sorry. I thought you meant on the roster. I'm like,
no.
I'm over here. See,
Legendary.
my ADHD. I'm sitting here reading the freaking comments, and I hear another cornerback who played receiver. I'm like, who we got on the roster?
Man, you split him out, split Jones out wide, and see that would be kind of a trick to see.
Man, that would be crazy. We got S. Santiago asking 1 to 10. What do you rate the front seven?
That's tough. Like I asked this on Instagram the other day, and I was seeing a lot of top 5s and not 5. To be conservative, I would put him at like 5 to 8, and that's being very conservative, I think, because adding Wilkins just puts a nasty spin on the inside of that defensive line. And like you said earlier, people are finally starting to recognize Max. That was the reason that Wilkins wanted to come. He wanted to play with Max. And you've got Kuntz that's starting to break out. Had a 3-sack game against Kansas City. Had 8 sacks in the last 5 of last season. Games. Yeah. So he's maybe turning the corner. I think there could be, and you slide Tyree in and out. There's a lot of movement that could happen on that line. Yeah,
Tyree's kind of that role that Cleveland Farrell could have played. Had he been just I love Clee. And had he been just a little bit more advanced coming in, I think that he at this level right now, he would be playing where Tyree's playing right now. Tyree really picked it up at the end of last season. He's spent the offseason training with Max and Wilkins. That's going to be huge for him. I like Kuntz's development. And then looking at the linebackers, Diablo coming back healthy. He's coming off coming off a solid year. Bob Spillane, I mean,
well, you got Eichenberg, dude. Eichenberg looks
Yeah.
like a straight up like blue collar or lunch pail linebacker.
Eichenberg and Bobby Spillane, just those guys, they look like they're going to be the new Bash Brothers. So
Yep.
I'm going to be I'm a little less conservative, a little more liberal, and I'm like 9.5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm pushing. I mean, anything top 10 is great, right? Let's be honest. Anything top 10 would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I just want to see it pushing a little bit closer to the 5. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, we finished number 5 last year. We didn't subtract. We didn't subtract from this defense, which is great. I mean, we subtracted, we lost to Meek Robertson, who's a great friend of the show. But we added more than we subtracted. And that to me says that this defense gets better because now you have the same defense returning, the same defensive coordinator. I mean, when was the last time we had this kind of continuity on the defense, but also in the coaching staff? Because previously there's been a lot of turnover because there was a lot of free agents.
No, it's been a really long time since we've brought back the same defensive coordinator, a lot of the same players. It's been really a really long time since we've had any kind of continuity anywhere. I think it's important to bring that back and having guys that want to be there. And you realize a lot of our defensive coaches are all player coaches. So I think we've got one of the highest numbers of player coaches on the roster, on our coaching roster than as any other team in the league. I think there's like 7 or 8.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's huge. Yeah. One Nation Fanware has a great point. People forget that AOC isn't really a young rookie. He's in his mid-20s. I think he's like 26. So he's the age of the average third-year vet, some 4-year vets. He was thrown into madness. Really hope he takes his next step year 2. I mean, look, his start against the Chargers the first game, and then his start when AP took over are night and day. Night and day. You got to remember, AOC was coming in as the number 3 quarterback. So he's getting minimal reps in the game. And instead of them going to the backup Brian Hoyer, they said, you know what, kid? Let's go take you down on an away game against a division rival.
Just throw him in there.
Out. Yeah. So
just threw him in.
This guy doesn't have the timing with receivers. He probably doesn't know the whole playbook right yet, and you're just going to, hey, I got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa ready to fucking meet up with you. Like,
just tee off.
Yeah, that was smart.
What I do like, what I've seen from O'Connell is he looks bigger. Everything in training camp, he looks like he's bulked up.
He looks bigger, but more toned. He looks leaner.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like he looks more built.
Yeah, he lost some of the baby fat.
More like an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, and that 12 looks so much better on him.
I was just gonna say that 12 is looking sharp too.
Like that 4, look, and it's not even a DC thing. Like it just didn't look right. It looked weird. Like the only time Ford looked good, only time I've ever seen Ford look good is when DC wore it and when Brett Favre wore it. Like, other than that, like Ford is not a cool number for football. I don't know why. It's just
Watson wasn't 4, was he?
Yeah, Watson was 4, and that's why it's not cool.
We don't like that here.
Oh, that's who it is. So Space Beast got chief safety Justin Reed will do kickoffs, has a background in kicking. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody, I feel like kickoffs are, I'm not going to say that they're easy because somebody will then
actually, you know what? Launch a ball,
Hold
right?
on. You know what? Let's get this show going right. Kickoffs are easy. If you guys want to see me, do a kickoff, go ahead and drop $20 in the super chat.
Do a 20? Do a 20?
Do a 20. I'll do a kickoff blindfolded. For 50.
Oh,
just putting that out there.
Rob's gonna have to break out the camera. Mike,
Oh, Rob will look forward to coming to fuck with me. Like his
See, there you go. AOC's 28.
AOC's 28, dude.
He's ready to roll, dude.
To put things into perspective, Derek Carr is what, 32?
Yeah.
Derek Carr's a 10-year vet.
Yeah.
Or 11-year vet.
Bonkers.
Mike Belly.
Top one.
Mike says top one. Mike, my co-host from the Black Team Broadcast, Mike Avelli. If you guys aren't following him, get the fuck together and do it. Man puts out some fire content.
Solid edits. No, there's no lack on the DL at all. I mean, there's definitely more depth than there's more depth there than people realize. I think there's a lot of guys that can be multiple in different positions. A lot, kind of like our offensive line is getting to be. It's finally nice to have some extra pieces. I would say, some plug and play guys that can just step up.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not that it's going to stop him, but it's going to take a little bit off of Max's plate.
Mm-hmm.
Because Max isn't going to have to, which he still will. He's going to play 98% of the snaps because he's a fucking madman. But it's going to take something off his plate. It's also going to make it easier for him because how do you double team everybody?
Yeah, you can't double everyone. You can only have 5 dudes up there plus your tight ends. 2 weeks ago, JT the Brick said Judon was from New England, was on the trade block for cheap. He would be fun to pair with Max Kuntz and Tyree at defensive end. That could get interesting, but would it create a logjam? You've got a lot of talent in that D end room.
Yeah, and then it kind of makes a player feel like they're disposable.
Well, like I said, you got J-Rob in there too.
Yeah,
who has flashed.
J-Rob has been, and I'm not just saying this because he's Black Shield Media, but he's showing some signs that he gonna be something nice.
He looked good against the Vikings.
Yeah, man, he looked really good against the Vikings. That was like one of the look, our defense looked really good against the Vikings. Unfortunately, we couldn't score more than 2 points.
Couldn't even score that.
That's what I'm saying. Like we
0-3. I've never seen a 0-3 football game ever.
It was like a soccer score.
Yeah, that was wild. Baseball, soccer.
AOC stayed another year because his team was in contention to win and his brother passed. I didn't know that about his brother.
Okay.
I knew his team was in contention.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I'll let you read this one. Hold on.
Shout out to Powers, aka Lil Richie, man. He has me pumped up. Dude, I have been so high on Jackson Powers Johnson since we drafted him. And that was the first comparison I had. I'm like, the dude is a little Richie incognito. And to see that Richie has come out and said, I like this kid, that is icing on the cake for me. He is as advertised. He was a round 1 pick that fell to round 2. I am so jacked about JPJ.
I had seen so many mock drafts with him going in the top 15. It's crazy. Like the fact that he fell to the second round and the fact that we were able to get him, this dude is going to be a star. This is a Richie Incognito, Steve Wisniewski, old school, just hard nosed,
Madden style linebacker.
I know this dude. I know this dude stinks. I know he stinks. I know he's like Gabe Jackson. Like Gabe Jackson. You ask anybody that was on the Raiders during the time that Gabe Jackson was there, they will tell you Gabe Jackson was the stinkiest guy in the locker room. And guess what? He was the baddest motherfucker on the line. Nobody got past Gabe Jackson.
Still bad.
Bro, he's a bad. Yeah. So guess what? I hope Jackson Powers Johnson stinks. I hope he does, because that means he's going to be a beast.
Smelly beast.
You like the way my armpits smell.
No, that was seriously that was the first thing I thought. I'm watching highlights, I'm watching tape, and I'm looking at JPJ. I'm going, this is a Madden lineman. This dude is a Madden style lineman.
Yeah.
Just mean, nasty, Jim Otto nastiness, I know that's a lot, but that's really the only thing I can compare it to besides Richie is just this nasty grit.
Yeah. It just feels he feels like a Raider. Like grew up a Raider fan. His first game was the Battle of the Bay in Oakland. I mean, doesn't get much more
poetic, right?
Yeah,
Poetic.
like that's a full circle moment. Matt Beltran says O-line's gonna be solid this year. Yeah, and I think it was Vic that said, I believe it was Hondo. It was Uncle Hondo. He said that Thayer Mumford is looking like the clear-cut starter at right tackle.
Been saying it since last year. They were saying, "Oh, we need a right tackle. We need a right tackle." I'm like, you guys need to look deeper on the roster. Thayer Munford, in the time that he played and started, the guy looked like the out-and-out starter, from my opinion. Yeah, he had some slips, but I mean, like, you get him those game reps, and dude looks sharp. And to hear that he's looking even more so this year, and so so what's your offensive line projection looking like? It's looking like Colton Miller, JPJ, James, Parham, Munford,
and then Munford, yeah,
dude. I mean, why not? Why shouldn't it be nasty?
Yeah, then you got some guys back there who can fill in. And so I like
very
the
deep
depth.
Offensive line room.
I like the depth. I think that this is the first time since 2016 that we've had some solid depth at the offensive line position and defensive line position. All right.
Uh-oh.
Ivan.
Brock's sister.
Shout out to Brock Bowers' sister. I commented on the Raiders media day post with Brock Bowers, and I said his hairline's already at like year 10. And then somebody commented and said it ain't making it to its second contract.
Yeah.
And that thing has like 400 likes on it. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
And I said all elite athletes have horrible hairlines. Look at Hunter Renfrow.
That's why they have the helmet.
And then Hunter liked it.
He knows. He knows. I mean, you can't tell me that guy doesn't wake up and look at himself in the mirror every day and not know.
Hey, you know what? Some people are in denial. Like, I embraced my baldness. I said, you know what? Now I'm bald.
Yeah, you big.
Oh, do you know what? Space Beast is making some points here. He said, what about Byron Young? Like, there's Byron Young, Nessa Jade Silvera. Like, there is a lot of depth on this squad. Surprise cuts. Who will be the surprise cut this year?
That's really tough because I know AP likes Jade Silvera. Let's see. I was just re-listening to a show the other day, and I don't remember. I don't know why, because I think it was because I was driving to the Bay and I had nothing better to do. But
wait, you came to the Bay and you didn't hit me up?
I did. It was a down and back. Like it wasn't an overnighter. It was a down and back. There was a guy that Young was competing with. Was it Farrell last year that missed a lot of camp at the same time as Young? And we were saying that Young had to come back and make an impression if he wanted to get in over Farrell.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to come down to whoever can, again, not miss camp and flash the most in camp. And I know that's a really non-committal answer, but that's the best I got at this point. I haven't seen a lot from, OTAs or anything yet because they just started mandatory minicamp. But I would keep an eye on those kind of fringe guys like Jade Silvera, even though he's nasty and he can get it done. Young is a monster on the inside. He's fast as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly have no inclination as to who the surprise cut could be. And if you've got one, I'd be really curious to hear it.
Surprise cut. This is going to ruffle.
I don't know if you can pick one
on the defensive line or just on the team in general.
I don't know. I was assuming defensive line.
I was thinking team in general, but defensive line, I mean, that really makes it more difficult. I could see J-Rob being a surprise cut and then being brought back on the practice squad.
God, I'd hate to see that.
And then making the roster again
mid-season
for somebody else. Yeah, but team-wise, a surprise cut that I think could be Alexander Madison. I think that you know, depending on how Dylan Lobb and Amir Abdullah do in camp, I think that, you know, Madison, even though we brought him in free agency, he may be that surprise cut.
He could. I mean, he could be. If Lobb plays the way that I saw his tape, he's a great scat back because he can catch out of the backfield. He can do all these like shifty things, you know. And I like the way Zamir runs. He's clear cut number one, obviously.
Yeah.
But Madison does have kind of a weird fit there, I think.
And he has a history of fumbles and injury. So, you know, I think it really comes down to how he does in camp and in the preseason. We know what Amir Abdullah can do. You know, we know that he's great coming out of the backfield. So I think that he's solidified there. I think Caucasian Tomlinson is going to be somebody who's going to get some run. And in case you don't know who Caucasian Tomlinson is, that's Dylan Lobb. And so I think that, you know, that's what it's really going to come down to is, you know, can they beat him up as or can they beat him out as, you know, the number 2 and 3 running backs?
Well, and seeing M Raiders comment here, team in general, he's talking about Chris Smith or Nesta. I think you see Nesta go before you do Chris Smith. I think Chris Smith is just he's in a spot where our safety room is pretty deep. The addition of Trey Taylor definitely doesn't really help his case because I think that dude is he's going to be a monster. But then you got my guy Pull him out in there also. I've been stumping for 2.5 seasons, you know.
I think Pullmout's a lock, honestly.
Yeah, he's nipping at Epps' heels. I feel like he has been since last season.
He could be the heir apparent.
I would not be upset with that at all because in his limited time he's flashed, in my opinion. Yeah. And especially, I think it was last season, he got like 88 snaps or something like that. No, it was the season before, 88 snaps. And the dude was playing with his hair on fire, and that's a lot of hair to be on fire. Guyton and Gallup as surprise cuts.
I can see Gallup.
I don't know if that would be that surprising to me.
I think Trey Tucker has a huge season.
I think so. You get that timing down with AOC.
Yeah, but what's cool, what I like about Gallup and what I like about Tucker, and not so much Tucker, but what I like about Gallup and what I like about Jacoby is that both of those guys can also play the slot, and Trey can play slot and Z. And so it's very, very interesting to see what they do because, you know, when you go out there in a 4 receiver set, you got Tay, you got Trey, you got Jacoby, and you have Gallup. You've got 4 guys out there who can really make some pass catching plays. But then also remember, then you have the phenom Brock Bowers. Oh, and don't forget, we also have Shrek when he turned to human, Michael Mayer. Like, we got, I mean,
I was gonna go a WWE reference. You said the phenom. I was gonna say Kane. I was gonna say we got the Brothers of Destruction out there, man.
Oh shit!
Missed opportunity.
That was a missed opportunity, but that is an opportunity for you to make a post.
I like it.
Now, hold on, Mike Mayer. You know who Mike Mayer reminds me of? Jack Reacher.
Oh, dude. What's that dude's name? Alan Rickton or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could see it.
Like
I could see
Reacher. He's like Reacher, but he looks like a cross, like, and he reminds me of Greg Olson. Like the way he plays reminds me of Greg Olson. He plays just like Olson, like Witten, like Gronk. Like it's just that big, physical,
big body,
athletic
physical
dude. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you got Bowers, who's like Travis Kelsey's,
Little brother.
maybe better than Travis Kelce. Like, let's see. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say it right now because we haven't seen him play, and
Yep.
I'm not going to be one of those people like that are going to call somebody the GOAT coming into the league when they haven't ever played a game. Like, how the Caitlin Clark fans do, and they're like, "Oh, Caitlin Clark's a GOAT," but she hasn't played. But Asia Wilson's sitting there being the best player of the WNBA years after year after year after year. I mean, back to back. Like, come on. Sorry, I had to go on my little tangent.
No,
I had somebody call me racist because I said Caitlin Clark wasn't the GOAT.
Wow.
But then they went on and called Angel Reese a bug-eyed black bitch.
See, it's shit like that. It just makes you lose respect for a lot of people. And I don't blame you for going on the tangent because, they wear silver and black too now.
Yeah.
Mark Davis made that nice little tweak. And look at that, a cohesive Vegas sports brand. The only thing outstanding is the Vegas Knights. But,
yeah, they need to switch. I mean, come here. Hey, Nevada is the silver state. So, get with the be like, I like when I think there's only like 2 or 3 cities that have, or 2 or 3 states that have all sports teams wearing the same color. I know Pittsburgh's one of them. Oh no, Pittsburgh's not. Yeah, Pittsburgh's one of them. Pennsylvania's not, or Philly's not.
Right.
Pittsburgh's one. I'm trying to think. There's like 2 more. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I think it would be cool. Every team in Vegas is all silver and black. I would love to see even just the Knights come out with an alternate in silver and black. I think that would be kind of dope.
Silver State jersey.
Anthony says, I mean, we're talking about WNBA here, but Diana Taurasi is the GOAT. She's one of them. She's not the GOAT. That's Candace Parker, CP3.
Now, see, and I'm going to have to defer. I don't know much about WNBA, so I'm going to defer to Kenny's expertise here.
Yeah. One Nation fanwear. Man, they're still on the mustache.
Dude, they really do.
I want to see that mustache. That you can pull it off.
I can't do it, man. The wife would probably kill me. I can't do it. And the thing is, this split is not a design choice. That is a natural happenstance.
You got a cleft palate?
No, I don't.
It just grows.
I did have somebody tell me that I got some fucked up teeth, though.
Who told you that?
Yeah. It was on a post somewhere. Somebody like, leave it to Rangers fans to have fucked up teeth. And I was like, damn, dude, I even had braces. Like,
I mean, I've seen you smile in person. Your teeth ain't that bad. Like, they ain't even bad.
Like,
what you talking about?
Hey,
I mean, look, my teeth, I shop at the Gap.
And then I had another dude tell me they'll lay off the hair gel. But that's cool. I get it. I know I use a lot. But
okay, you
got to tame the mane somehow.
This is how I tame my mane.
Dr. Bick.
Actually, I use a head blade.
Oh.
I use a head blade upstairs, downstairs. Downstairs is when I take my Blue Chews. Anybody who wants Blue Chew, promo code KinkyKenny.
Get the plug. See, dude, this is okay. Even just like our old shows, we're hitting that 45-minute mark. We're derailing.
Yeah, I was gonna completely derail, but someone wrote a really bad. I don't understand the hate for Uncle.
I don't either. Hondo is one of the most unbiased.
Dude.
He's a good dude. He's an unbiased observer. He's not a fan. He likes the people, but he's not a fan, as he would tell you. But I don't understand the hate for a guy that's just doing his job, and damn well.
And they call him a homer, where he tells you, "I'm not a fan."
Mm-hmm.
And I have a ton of respect for Hondo. I mean, he's a great dude. I love Hondo.
Awesome guy.
When I see Hondo slander, I get mad. I'll whoop somebody's ass for Hondo. I really will. Ben Badass, do you know why colors are silver and black? I do. Al Davis was colorblind.
It's not because he didn't like the gold and thought that silver looked better.
I mean, it was also because he liked. It was also
hated
because
that
of.
gold.
No, it was also because of West Point. So he wanted to. He admired the military very much, and so He wanted the colors like that because of West Point and the prestige that they had.
Yes, Hondo is definitely for the fans. He busts his ass, and he's in the trenches getting the best stuff for all the fans. And if you don't check out his posts on Instagram, you definitely need to check him out. Our guy A-Train, Mr. Freeze himself.
Got him.
Mr. Freeze, our buddy A-Train, producer Ant-Man, whatever you want to call him. That man, he does a lot of work for Hondo and does some A+ work.
Yeah.
So definitely check him out. Hondo's not one of those clickbaity link in bio kind of guys, but you do have to click the link in his story to read the full article.
Yeah.
But
and
it doesn't cost you anything.
How you read
it.
Yeah, it's how you read an article. It's free. It's free.
Yeah.
Read it.
Doesn't cost you
to
anything.
read.
Click the link, read the article. Let the man make his money.
If you could read a page of the Harry Potter book. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
I didn't know about this. Al did a test with the owner of the Cowboys in their stadium, watching the guys on the monitor. Al liked how the colors popped off the screen. Dallas went with silver and blue.
I mean,
but smart.
Al and Jerry were both very good friends.
Yeah. Some of the OG Raiders art did have yellow gold. Yeah, I know. We know that. We know that, One Nation.
Yeah, man. I'm glad they ditched that.
Yeah, Space Beast.
Yeah.
Space. Any fan base should be lucky to have Hondo, and he works for SI, not an unknown commodity. Exactly. Hey, man, I work for an unknown. No, I'm just kidding. Exactly. Hondo takes a lot of time and a lot of pride in his work, and I've got nothing but respect for my guy.
I'd actually just like to point out here, Kenny just said he works for an unknown commodity. That means don't take anything he says seriously. Ever.
Don't ever.
Ever. Had to get close in on the mic for that one.
If you need me for voiceover skills, I'm available.
Hey, you don't hold a candle to what's bro's name? Trey Mosley? Trey Mosley.
Trey Mosley is the GOAT. Trey Mosley just got an Emmy too.
I saw that. Well deserved. Trey
Mosley's he does a lot of the Raiders videos just behind the shield. You hear him in video games, you hear him on TV. Mm-hmm. Trey Mosley is all over the place. He even narrated as a spot for my podcast. So Trey, if you guys aren't following Trey Mosley, go give him a follow. He has some funny videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff.
Yeah, but Dustin, this is the derailing point. What you got for us, man? Where are we going?
Well, actually, I was kind of thinking, since we are derailing so hard.
Ooh, no diddy.
We are derailing. So my suggestion was going to be is I was going to toss it out to the comments and say, look, if you like what we're doing here, give us a follow on Instagram at the Raider Way Podcast. Run up the numbers, leave the comments, hit the likes. Drop some ideas that you want to hear us talk about. If you've got anything that you think that we should be looking into or anything like that, I did all ears. Definitely want to hear about it because we're here for you guys. We're gonna be we're gonna be a no. Well, there's gonna be some BS, but there's not gonna be none of this speculative crap. Everything that we're gonna talk about is gonna be substantiated by fact. Most likely by Hondo because we're good with Hondo and he's right in the building. But we're gonna do this the right way. We don't want to be out here just spewing things like certain other outlets that are just out here gassing themselves up. But we're here for you guys, so we definitely want to hear from you. Hit the follow button. Anything and everything. Just hit us up. Yeah,
let me add. Right now we're going to be dropping the pod on my channel. We're going to be simulcasting on Dustin's channel. We want to be able to get this on Dustin's channels and me simulcast on mine. So in order to do so, we need to build Dustin's followers up on YouTube. So make sure you guys are going and following his YouTube. You can click the link on here and it'll direct you there. Dustin will put it in the podcast afterwards. And then if you're listening to the podcast, like I said, once again, we're going to be putting it on my channel. So it'll be on the Real Talk Network. And that will be followed under there. So if you guys are listening after the fact, you guys can go on there and listen. We have a Raider Way podcast group on YouTube. So you can also go on there and you'll see everything that we have. But we're going to be dropping this every week, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Make sure you guys set your reminders, set your alerts, give your follows, and go Raiders.